Hey, g'day, I'm Toby.
And I'm Leland.
And we're going to show you how to make a silicone mould for casting resin. The title says you can make these silicone moulds for free. You can. So many people have half a tube of silicone or multiple half tubes of silicone in their workshop that they're probably going to bin or throw in a landfill. We're not going to do that. This is a way to use it. Now I'm going to use brand new tubes of silicone here because I'm making such large batches. You can do that. Silicone's pretty darn cheap, but you can actually make them fully free if you've already got the silicone and you're probably only going to bin it one day when it goes off. So you might have to pay for dishwasher soap, but we all know that stuff lasts forever. So for anyone who's thinking, how is this free? You can make it free, or I could make it free, unless you're going to make large batches. Hope that covers that. So what you're going to want to do this is
1 clean bucket, dishwasher soap, and core flint.
Oh, this is called core flute.
Core flute.
Right, core flute. And some sort of timber to make the inside of the moulds out of. I'm going to be using this pine. It's nice and cheap from Bunnings or something like that, but I have heaps of it. It gets used on jobs and it's what's left over. So again, this is all free to me. Here is a core flute that I made earlier, made last time. If you would like to see these being made, please see this link above. You'll see a video that shows you how to make one of these. So you want to keep putting soap in until it starts to feel really quite slippery in your hands. Which means quite a lot of the soap, but... So we just wet the inside of this, make sure it's nice and thoroughly soapy and wet. So for anyone who's worried about the silicone itself on hands, on kids' hands, this is creating a barrier. Because it's so slippery, it stops the silicone sticking to anything else but itself. So it doesn't stick to the bucket, doesn't stick to the hands, doesn't stick to the mould, doesn't stick to anything else. So it's actually creating a barrier between their hands, so they don't actually get silicone stuck all over their hands, which means there's no transfer of anything across there. So the only sort of prerequisite here is that this is 100% silicone. So this is a silicone, as you can see, that I've already used some of. I have these sitting around. Now I have actually bought 2 more for this job. I've only used a tiny bit, as you can see, but I have got some more of these. You can buy packs of 3 from Bunnings, I think, for about $15, and I'm sure it'd be the same from Walmart and places like that. They wouldn't be expensive. You just need it to be 100% silicone. That's really all it is. Don't get something with additives and that sort of thing in it. I don't know if it'll work because I've never used them. So we'll cut the top off, as much out of the top as possible, so we can get it in there. So I've actually cut a big chunk out of the end of it, which means if I put it in a silicone gun, it's going to go over the silicone gun. So all I do is grab a little hammer handle and just squeeze the whole lot out in one big fat tube. And it goes kaplonk. And then we make sure our hands are nice and soapy, so that we're not going to get it all stuck to us. And then we just start collecting it up. You get that one, and I get this one. And we just start kneading it together. Just working it, keeping it under the water all the time, so it doesn't stick to you. If you feel like it's starting to stick to you, you can add more soap. We're just kneading it into a ball, so just working it together. So you need to knead yours a bit more, Squidgy, just squash it down. and then keep working it back into a ball. You want to get it in the corners and make sure you really work it down there so you don't get too many air bubbles. Maybe a bit more. Squish a bit more in there.
Is this a new silicone gun?
Yeah. It's a few weeks old. Okay, that'll do. Now you want to do that?
It's a tiny amount.
It's tiny weeny amount. Did you make sure you kneaded it through? Because it helps it activate a bit faster. It goes hard a bit quicker. So you have to wait days and days and days and days and days. Try to use the flats of your fingers, not the tips, because you sort of push it in and create a little air pocket if you use the tips of your fingers. Makes a great noise. Okay.
Just keep a bowl of this in the bedroom and you can squish it.
Probably not a great smell for your bedroom.
No.
So, we will just flatten that off.
Why don't you grab something to do it?
Sorry?
Why don't you grab something flat to do it?
That's a good idea, but we don't need it to be
Perfectly flat.
ridiculously flat, but we would like it to be
Really flat.
quite flat. So we had a little tiny bit left and I had a thought. This is something I haven't tried before and I wanted to. So I have this little tub. I just made this little jewelly looking thing. And I wanted to see whether, if you squish that in there for me, boy. Well, probably, hang on, let's get rid of that air that we just put in.
Tiny bit more.
No, I think that's enough actually. So I'll just cover that up because we just want it to be pretty much enough so we can cut it open with a knife afterwards. So we're going to try to decant these now, see how they look. I have a feeling I put not enough soap in this time, which means there's a possibility that we're going to get stuck. Now Leland is trying to decant the little sort of afterthought sort of jewel type thing we made, and see how that goes. And I am opening up this silicone mold. More dishwasher soap in the water would actually fix this. I realised afterwards I probably didn't put quite enough in. On other occasions I've had these just pretty much fall out. As you can see, it's a little bit of fun getting them out, but be careful about how you're taking it out. You shouldn't pull too many, you should pull holes in it and stuff, but I mean you still can a little bit, but if you just gently ease it away, the silicone, because it's flexible, will stretch a little and then peel away from the timber, and then and get your timber out. So there is one mould made nice and flexible. It'll actually stiffen up a little bit, more. It's still quite flexible. So just take the knife and trim this off. Nice sharp knife. Take your pieces of whatever you want, just pop them in and cast onto it. So it's lovely and flexible. It holds its own shape still. In fact, it's probably one of the better ones I've actually made. Nice square corners and that sort of stuff. I'm very happy with that. Not too many lines inside, which can be an issue. Inside you can sometimes get real sort of casting lines or tears in the thing. Now you can see there, it's a little hard to see, there's actually a slight hollow
I got my finger
there.
in it.
Get your finger stuck in it.
Yeah.
Actually a slight hollow there. So all I do now is I just push a knife into that, take my silicone tube, stick it there and just fill it up, and then let it go off, and then just very carefully with the razor blade cut that flat. So if you find any of those, which you may find one or two, you can basically repeat.
Everybody, let's just roll that dice, my darling. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You say you need my love, but you just ain't getting through. Please come around, knock on my door. Tell me something never heard before. 'Cause sweet talking me and giving me lies, you'll just see me roll my eyes. So my darling. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You say you want me back. I say, get your head out of the blue. Woo! Hey! You weren't here when I was around, running round all over town, thinking that I would be waiting at home. Oh, honey, no, honey, I ain't being your stepping stone, my darling.